I just used Suno to sample myself and then turn it into a beat. Let me show you guys how I did it. First, I just wrote down 8 bars and then I recorded it, uploaded the raw audio to Suno, and let it do its thing. I feel so alone without you, and I just keep on losing sleep. So it doesn't sound good, it doesn't sound crazy, but it doesn't matter. Suno is so fired that it's gonna turn it into something wild. And by the way, when I show you guys what I sampled, this is the very first generation that Suno gave me. The very first one out the gate kicking. I told it that I wanted a sad, moody R&B / pop song with 2000 vibes. Just something that was kind of dark and depressing. This is what it gave me on the first go round. Such a crazy way to start the song. I feel so alone without you. All right, so once I got the sample, I took it from 117 BPM and G minor all the way down to 87 BPM and C minor. Then I added a couple effects on it. I put a high pass and a low pass filter on. I used my Murder Melodies to throw some little different distortions and delays on there. I put the fruity delay and fruity reverb on there just to make it nice and spacey. So let's check that out. Then I took the sample and I chopped it up just to give a little variation. If you know me, you know that I like the beat to keep changing and not just repeating over and over again. So we had this little chop right here. I just looped that. And then I had the intro that Suno made for me, and I used that as kind of like the breakdown or the bridge before the hook comes back in. That one is really cool, and this is it here. So it's super simple. Then I wanted to add some keys on there. My big thing when I sample songs is to not do too much. I really don't like adding too many layers or too many different melodies on top of it. I really like to be able to hear that it's the sample unless the artist is like, I don't want to recognize the sample. In this case, it's me singing it, so it's like I wanted it to be my sample. So I added these nice little keys on here. Again, nice, light, bright. They're not doing anything too crazy, just adding a little bit of texture to it. I then added a pad to it for more texture. One note on all of these. Like I'm not playing chords on the pad. I'm not trying to do too much. We already got instruments from the sample. I'm adding onto it, and there's vocals going in there. So I just don't want to do too much with it. So I just played, what did I do? G, C, D sharp, and back to G. So you guys can hear it just adds some nice texture, nice little vibe to it. The last thing that I did as far as melody or instruments go is I just added this little like fluttery riser to the end of it. That way you just know that the beat is turning around. We're about to come back to the beginning. And yeah, again, it doesn't do too much. I think a lot of times like putting just the little accents in there like this just at that one part of the song, or you just put something in just for a bar and then let it ride for the next however many bars and don't let it come back. It just adds a lot of variation, a lot of texture, and it makes the beat sound a lot better. So that's what this is right here. Just a nice little fluttery riser. And that's it. That's all I did for the melodies right there. I added snares on next, a very simple snare pattern. We're not doing too much. Super simple, guys. Super simple. Then I added some claps for kind of a little like counter bounce to it. just a little bit in there, nothing too much, but it adds that little accent to it, gives it a little bit of a more upbeat bounce, even though it's a sad and slow sample. Next up, hi-hats. I always feel like I do too much with my hi-hats, but in this case, I really liked it. I pitched them up a little bit. What did I leave them at? Yeah, G, just to make them a little bit lighter, a little bit softer so that they're not so aggressive and not so heavy. Check this one out. And that's one of my favorite things that I've been doing lately. Oh my goodness, do I love doing it. I take the hi-hats and then you switch over with the little horseshoe to the third beat, and then you just put this super sick little and it just adds that like whole different bounce or a whole different vibe. I don't even want to say bounce, but it adds a whole different vibe to the song. It really like shifts your energy whenever you hear that part come on. So I really like that. Next, 808s. I just got to take a minute to say, bro, shout out to Max Kill Them. Bro, craziest 808 kit I ever had. This shit is so fire. They're so heavy. They're so big. I use them pretty much every single chance that I get. Like if I got a heavy song or something where I need it punching, I'm going straight with these. So let's check these out. Again, super simple 808 pattern, man. I'm not trying to do too much with it. When it does double up, you can see I added a few variations in just to give it a little, I don't know, a little bit different of a bounce so that we're not going the same thing over and over again. So let's check that out. Fire. Nice and simple 808. It just sounds so good. Anytime I have a sad sample that I'm turning into some trap shit, or I got like anything dark and just moody, I gotta use the trap crash. The trap crash is the absolute go-to for any type of beats like this. If you use it, you can't miss. And then after that, the only thing that I really had to do was just add a couple of accents. So I put another open hat, I put the shoddy red perk, and then I put the little Zapparino, little Boss Man D-Lo Zapparino. And that's it. That's the whole beat right there. If you guys know me, you watch the other videos, you know that I love adding things, taking things away just to add some motion. So that's the hook right there. When we get into the verse, obviously the sample itself switches up. I take the pad away. I take all of these little perks away, but I did add bells in there just to give it a little of a dark vibe. So nothing too crazy, but just a little something for a little extra, just so that you can tell we're at a different part of the song. I did a 16-bar verse on this one. I normally never do that, but I was feeling it on this. So we got 8 bars like that, and then I had a little bit of a switch up where I brought back the pad and all of the perks. So that's the most full part of the verse. And then I used that intro again, like I said, for the bridge, pre-hook, whatever you want to call it, and I took everything away. Absolute fire. And that's really it. As far as the mixing goes, I take all of my instruments, whatever you want to say, like all of my synths and everything like that. I route them to one insert, and then I just put a high pass on there so that it takes out the low ends. It's not going to let me pull it up. I hate that. Yeah, bro, the Infinity EQ. It's when I pull it in FL, it does this after I use it the first time. But it's a high pass on there just to take the lows out so the 808 can thump a little bit more. And of course, because it's slate, it's not going to show again. I use the virtual mix rack, and I just put the mix bus punch preset on there and then kind of mess with it a little bit. But that's it. That's how I made this beat. So simple. Shout out to Suno for making it incredibly easy and fire. No, this is not a paid partnership. I just love him. Let's check the beat out from the top.
Smile for me.